Good evening. I gotta make this video and talk about. I keep seeing people post just complete bullshit information on this YouTube channel shit here. Not my shit channel, other shit channels. Posting shit that's not even fucking true. It's not correct information. It's fucking bullshit. It's outdated. And here's the thing, you can usually look at the person's physique and you can tell if they know what they're talking about or not. Now, if the guy's telling you how to get lean and he's been shredded and all that shit, he knows how he got lean, at minimum. But if the guy's talking about how to build muscle, you know, if he's talking about how to build any kind of muscle and he hasn't shit for muscle, he looks like a fucking blob, like a bowling pin physique, then I don't think I'd be taking any advice from a guy like that. He's got no standing, no credibility, no foundation, no basis for this knowledge. And especially when scientific studies, which you know, I'm not into that shit, don't even back up his fucking bullshit, right? Then you really know it's bullshit. Because what inevitably happens is all the shit that I've learned, the shit that I'm telling you guys, are mistakes I've made, things I did incorrectly that slowed me down or inhibited my gains and my progress, right? That I learned from. I'm sharing that kind of shit with you. The corrections that I made, that's where I got to where I am now. And stuff I've long done and found out for myself that worked like off the charts. And inevitably, when I go to look for backup information on this shit, which I would never have done that if I hadn't started this channel. I would never have a reason. Everything works. It works. I want to get bigger, I get bigger. I want to get shredded, I get shredded. So it works. So why fuck with it? If it ain't broke, don't break it. So I would never even gone and researched any of this shit and had found any studies to back up anything I say. Why would I? When everything I already have put into practice, long-standing, has always worked. It works. It delivers incredible results. So, and then you got to figure how much effort I actually put in. I don't really put in that much effort. I'm going to share that with you right now. Do I put in more than most people? Probably. But am I like going balls to the wall, you know, pedal to the metal, doing every little thing I can possibly do? No. So I select, right? Rule of diminishing returns is what I go by. I pick where I can get the most bang for the buck with the least amount of effort. And those are the things. So there's only a handful of hard, fast, almost rule type things that I, consistently follow and make sure I adhere to and make sure that I do. When I dot the I's and cross the T's, it's not everything. It's the little things I can do that are going to give me the most bang for the buck. If it's not going to make a difference, if it's only going to give me like a 5% advantage, then I'm not going to do it. Okay, and that's not a piano reference by any means. That's another fucking goof. So just consider this for 1 second, okay? When we're talking about protein, for instance, do you have to really watch all your protein on all this? No. If you're trying to get really huge, if that's your real goal, if that's your serious goal, don't bullshit yourself. If it's not that important to you, it doesn't make any difference. It's you're no less of anybody. If it's not that important to you, it's not that important to you. You know what I mean? I love to play guitar, but it's not that important to me. I'm not trying to become the next Yngwie Malmsteen or anything. I don't sit around just dedicating hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. You know, I may play hours a day for months at a time, and then I may not touch the guitar for 2 weeks at a time. You know, so yeah, I love to play guitar. I enjoy it a lot. It's very relaxing to me. It's fun. I've been doing it a long, long time, but it's, you're going to get at what you put in. So once it becomes rule diminishing returns, if I make it a job, it's no longer fun for me. You understand? So just consider this when we're talking about like protein shit. If 35% of the calories from protein is burned in the process of digestion or absorption, okay, that's if you're trying to get cut up and you're eating whole food sources of proteins, right? You can burn up 35% of those calories from that protein, the value of that protein, just in digesting that protein. So you start with X, okay, you can minus as much as 35% of those calories before it's said and done. Okay, now keep that in mind. And if only 15 to 17 grams of whey is absorbed at a time, okay, follow that? Now, if digestive rate of whey is about 10 grams per hour, okay, so theoretically, 20 25 grams of whey should take you about 2.5 hours to digest completely. Theoretically, all right? Now, if processed sources digest at a much faster rate, okay? And if whole food sources digest at a much slower rate, all right? Then your best approach is to divide your daily protein intake up into many smaller ingestions over the course of the day. Common sense. Nothing earth-shattering. Not like, what did he just say? You know, it makes perfect sense. Stop it, dog. Continuous grazing, and that's what I've always said. Said that for over a decade. Continuous grazing. When people say, when do you eat, what time do you eat, how much do you eat, how many meals do you eat? I have no idea. All right, I have certain dedicated meals, and in between those meals, I have other feedings, you know, all through the day. I try to get as close to continuous grazing as possible. I think that's most ideal. And that's not hard, you know, it can be very small amounts that way. You can still have scheduled feedings, but it seems almost necessary to insert specific protein-only feedings or dosings interspersed around and between those meals. Common sense, right? If you put all this together. And then if you're trying to get big, of course, you're going to eat more processed shit, more faster digesting shit that costs less to digest. You know, like with the other foods, your carbs, all that crap. You want to eat simple shit that's going to digest more quickly, not burn the fuck out of those calories you're putting in your body. Use them to grow so that there's an excess left over at the end of the day. You don't burn them all up. And you're going to do the opposite thing if you're trying to get lean. If you're trying to get lean, of course, like I've told you a million times now, you want to eat, you know, longer digesting foods, whole foods over processed shit, stuff that's going to take longer to digest and burn most of the calories up, or huge hunks of the calories up in, you know, digesting the food, because that's just a freebie. That's a whore burn, just free. Okay, so when you consider all this, and then if you throw down the hatch some digestive enzymes, right, so you can absorb more of the protein, okay, you're going to get a little bit from that. So digestive enzymes, that's something I think is necessary. You know, there's a few little things. The getting close to continuous grazing, I think, is necessary. The breaking your protein up smaller doses all day long, I think that's very necessary. And the strategy, just like I explained to you, it's not rocket science. It's not terribly difficult. It's pretty easy. But the point is, all the little small details, as many of them as you want to do, you rate them. You say, okay, scale 1 to 10, how much is this going to be worth in value to me if I do this? All right, and those that rate the highest, those are the ones you do, even if you only pick 4 or 5, 3 to 5, you know? And you make sure every day you do those. And yeah, small advantage in each one, very small advantage. But everything all together, the totality of circumstances of your approach, you know, how you do things, when you do things, why you do things, you're going to get a big bump out of that. You'll get a big bump out of that. You want a steady progress, or you do not want a steady progress. And if progress means getting bigger, then that's especially true. If progress means getting leaner, it's especially true. If you just are working out for fun, you don't want to make it any more complex, nothing wrong with that. If you're only working out to supplement or augment your physical conditioning for a sport you play, nothing wrong with that. You understand what I'm saying? But if the primary thing is what that workout's going to make you look like, just appear like, and it's going to improve other aspects of performance, but just appear like, okay? If that's primary, then it's very necessary, these little small details. The devil's in the details. Devil's in the details. Makes sense, doesn't it? Not complicated. Very simple and easy to understand, and almost cannot be disputed. So there you go. Those that do, they achieve their goals, and those that don't, they may achieve their goals too. It depends on what the goal is. But if your goal is to get huge, if you talk to any guys that really are huge, I mean a lot of muscle, they're going to all tell you very similar things. Now, if you go and talk to somebody that looks like Jabba the Hutt, right? He works out, but that's what he looks like, and he's going to tell you how to build muscle. You don't know what the fuck he's telling you. He has no idea. He's going to tell you something nobody else is telling you and disagree with everybody. He's going to disagree with a guy that looks like me. He's going to disagree with, you know, pro bodybuilders with that amount of muscle. He's going to disagree with that. All right? Let me tell you something. All bullshit aside, I can be as big as I want to be if I really want to, but it's not worth it. The things I'm not going to do. So believe me, I do very little things, but they're very specific and important things. Like I said, I rate them. What ones am I going to get the biggest bang for the buck out of that are least inconvenient to do? And those are the things that I make sure and always do. And it just becomes habit. So that's all. That's all. I just saw, I got to stop looking at other people's videos for one thing. It's enough to irritate somebody to death. Some of the nonsense. Oh, one more thing real quick. Can somebody that doesn't have a shitload of muscle know what they're talking about and give you good information? Yes, they can. Maybe they used to have a shitload of muscle. They just don't anymore. Or if they are giving you good information and never been there themselves, it's because they heard it from someone else. Someone who was there told them how to do it. That's where they're getting their information from. So you're just getting secondhand information. You're not getting it from the source. You're not getting it straight from the tap. They really don't know anything. They know what they've been told. Kind of like asking somebody that's never lived in Alaska or even been to Alaska, what's it like to live in Alaska? Oh, I saw that. I saw it on TV. I can tell you all about it. Right? For what that's worth. Compared to asking somebody that has lived there most of their lives, they could probably give you a lot better indication of what it's like. All right, that's it. Catch you guys later. Have a good night.